Hi, my name is Ray Orgill, and I was raised by deaf parents. Some of the most often or frequent questions I get asked by people, hearing parent people, is how did you learn how to speak coming from deaf parents? And being around deaf parents, I also was around my big family. We had 6 brothers and sisters, always around family relatives such as cousins and aunts and uncles. There's always church friends and neighborhood friends and sporting event friends, so that we heard a lot of talking going on. There was a lot of people speaking, so it was very easy to learn how to speak because everyone was speaking around us. The fun part was, and difficult part was learning how to communicate with my parents when they tried to teach us sign language. I thought it was much easier and funner to do charades. So between a little sign language teaching and charades by using your hands and a lot of improvising, it made it easier to communicate with our parents. But in speaking in general to friends and families and workers and teachers and students, it was very easy to speak. So learning how to speak was not a problem being raised by deaf parents. Another big question I get asked is, was it difficult for your parents to get a job based on their handicap of being deaf? And there were some limitations of jobs where you needed to learn how to hear, or you needed to know how to hear in order to do that job. But for the most part, I thought it created a greater opportunity for other jobs because employers or workers found out that deaf people are very hard workers. They're very focused, and they're very concentrated and less distracted, and less talking goes on by the water well or in the snack area. So they were really able to concentrate on their work and get a lot of their work done that was asked of them because they didn't have the daily distractions that other hearing workers would have. So they got a lot of promotions, and it was mainly based on their very hard work habits, which they distilled and showed us kids. They provided for us family very well. There were 6 of us, as I said, and 2 of us went through college. 2 of us are business owners, and they showed us how to what hard work can do by being good providers and providing to be good mentors for us as we became adults and provided for our own families. So they did a very good job at working and getting jobs and providing for their family, at least our family. So we're very proud of them. One of my favorite aspects of being raised by deaf parents is that they're so loving and affectionate. All of us kids were raised by lots of touches and hugs. When you're deaf, you can't hear, so you've got to do a lot of touching. There are a lot of love taps. Sometimes they were angry taps, but for the most part they were love taps. Lots of hugs, lots of gesturing. We used a lot of hand movements, but we were very touchable people, very affectionate people, and my deaf parents really made it fun and loving to grow up by just really a lot of hugs and touches. So that was a great aspect, and some of the other fun parts about being raised by deaf parents is, as I was growing up and becoming a teenager and going to school, I didn't need to have them write notes to my absentees at school because they would call and we would answer and say my parents are deaf, and we would respond, yes, we were ill or we were late, and there was a good excuse. So we wrote our own excuses. The other thing was we could play a lot of loud music. We could have parties while my parents were there, and we could learn how to play very loud instruments like the drums. I learned how to play the drums, and my parents loved it. Didn't bother them one bit. So there was a lot of fun things about being raised by deaf parents, and so I enjoyed it very much, and I love my parents very much, and I'm very proud of them. They did a great job.